Hello everyone, I hope I find you well. In this video, we are dealing with the bearings and distances. So we have a question here and I'm going to read the question to you and then we'll go on to answer the question. Two ships leave port at the same time. One travels at 5 kilometers per hour on a bearing of 0.46 degrees. The other travels at 9 kilometers per hour on a bearing of 127 degrees. How far apart are the ships after 2 hours? Okay, so we want to know the distance between the two ships after they traveled for 2 hours from the same port. Okay, so there's a diagram here which will help us to understand the situation at hand and answer the question. So the first ship, I've named it ship A, and the other ship B. And P is our port, okay? So ship A traveled from port P at a bearing of 0.46 degrees. That's this one, shown by this arc here. And traveled at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour towards on this bearing. And ship B also left port P on a bearing of 127 degrees, shown by this arc here, and traveled at a speed of 9 kilometers per hour. So they traveled for 2 hours, but their speeds were different. Okay, so for us to know how far apart they were after 2 hours, we must first of all know the distance traveled by ship A from port P up to here, and the distance traveled by ship B from port P. So we want to know the distances or traveled by the two ships after 2 hours. Okay, so the distance of ship A after 2 hours, we shall call it PA. And the distance of ship B after 2 hours, we shall call it PB. So we want first of all to find PA and PB. Okay, let's go on. Here we are. This is our solution. So the distance traveled by ship A, we shall call it PA. We get it from, we know that distance equals to speed multiplied by time. So the speed of ship A was 5 kilometers per hour and it traveled for 2 hours. So if you multiply the speed multiplied by the time, we get the distance as 10 kilometers. So ship A traveled for 10 kilometers in 2 hours at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. Ship B, the distance of ship B, speed times time, the speed of ship B was 9 kilometers per hour and the time was 2 hours. So if you multiply the speed by the time, we get our distance. Ship B traveled for 18 kilometers in 2 hours. That's PB. So I'm going to use this diagram to illustrate what we have just calculated. So PA is the distance covered by ship A in 2 hours at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour, and PB, distance covered by ship B at a speed of 9 kilometers after 2 hours. So we want to find the distance between the two ships after 2 hours. In other words, we want to find this distance AB. So after 2 hours, ship A was at this point, and after 2 hours, ship B was at this point. So we want to find the distance between them. Okay, so we are going to use this diagram here so that you can find the distance between the two ships. Okay, so we want to find the AB. Before we do that, you must know the size of the angle inside our triangle APB. Okay, we must know the size of the angle inside our triangle APB. Okay, so the size of this angle here, remember from this north arrow to this line which goes to PB is 127 degrees, and from the north arrow to this line which goes to A, which is PA, is 46 degrees. So for us to find the angle inside the triangle, we simply say 127 degrees minus 46 degrees. Okay, we want to find the angle inside our triangle, so we say 127 degrees, which is the bearing of B from P, minus 46 degrees, which is the bearing of A from P, and we get our answer is 81 degrees. So this size of this angle here is 81 degrees, which is the angle inside our triangle. Okay, so for us to find the distance between ship A and ship B after they travel for 2 hours, we are going to use the cosine rule. Why? Remember, we use the cosine rule if we are given the length of two sides and an angle in between them, so that we can find the third side. So here I know the length of PB, which is 18 kilometers, and the length of PA, which is 10 kilometers. So, and the angle between them is 81 degrees. So I want to find this third side, which is AB, which is the distance between the two ships after they travel for 2 hours. So I'm going to use the cosine rule to find the third side of the triangle, in this case, which is AB, and which is the distance between the two ships after 2 hours. So using cosine rule, we say AB, the square of AB equals to the square of PA, which is this one, plus PB, the square of PB, minus 2 multiplied by PA multiplied by PB multiplied by cos APB. APB is this angle of 81 degrees. So I'm going to substitute into this formula that PA is 10 squared. The square of PA is 10 squared plus 18, the square of 18 minus 2 times 10 times 18 times cos 81, which is 100 plus 324 minus 360 multiplied by 0.15643 etc. Finally, if I add 100 plus 324, I get 424 minus the product of 360 and 0.15643, which is 56,316,407. So finally, AB squared, or the square of AB, equals to 367,68359. Okay, so I want to find the distance AB, which is the distance between the two ships after they travel for 2 hours. So I'm going to find the square root of both sides. So square root of AB squared is AB, and the square root of 367,68359 equals to 19 kilometers to 2 significant figures. So the distance between the two ships after they traveled for 2 hours equals to 19 kilometers to 2 significant figures. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.